I'm a family physician with over 20 years of clinical experience. And in this video, I'm going to tell you how to prevent type 2 diabetes. Now, type 2 diabetes is largely preventable, and yet the medical profession has done such a poor job of educating people about how to prevent type 2 diabetes that millions and millions of people every year are still getting type 2 diabetes when it could have been easily prevented. So let's talk about how to do it. The first thing is to eat a diet that is anti-inflammatory. You need to make sure that you are eating real whole foods, unprocessed or minimally processed food. Okay, so that means things like fruits and vegetables, whole grains, legumes, and tofu or tempeh. And you want to avoid things that are pro-inflammatory. And those would be things like white bread, white rice, pastries, cookies, soda pop, that sort of thing. The next thing to do is to eat a low-carbohydrate diet. Now, there's a lot of misinformation out there. Just because something is low-carb does not mean it's unhealthy. A diet that is low in carbohydrates and moderate in protein and moderate in fat can be very, very healthy. And it turns out that eating a low-carbohydrate diet helps your body to tap into the fat that you have available for fuel rather than the sugar that's in your blood. And so, by eating a low-carb diet, you help your insulin levels stay lower, which is one of the primary ways that you control type 2 diabetes. You should also eat a diet that is rich in fiber. Fiber is a wonderful thing. It comes from the plants. It's in vegetables, it's in legumes, it's in whole grains. And fiber helps you by slowing down the absorption of sugar into your bloodstream after you eat a meal. It also helps feed the good bacteria that live in your gut and that help your overall health. Next, you want to eat a diet that is low in saturated fat and trans fat. Saturated fats come from animal products and some plant-based foods. And trans fats are produced by hydrogenating vegetable oils. Both of these types of fat can increase your risk of developing type 2 diabetes. No. 5. You want to eat a diet that's low in sodium. The problem with too much salt, with too much sodium in your diet, is that you tend to retain water. You become more edematous, and being edematous actually increases your risk of developing type 2 diabetes. So you need to use fresh herbs and spices to flavor your food instead of just reaching for the salt. The next tip is exercise. Exercise helps you develop insulin sensitivity. That is the fundamental problem with type 2 diabetes, is that your tissues have developed a resistance to insulin, particularly the muscle tissue. And so, by exercising, you can increase your insulin sensitivity and help your body better regulate your blood sugars. Aim for at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercise per week. You can break that up into smaller sessions. It doesn't all have to be done at once. But you should aim for at least 30 minutes of moderate intensity exercise most days of the week. Next, avoid tobacco. Tobacco smoke increases your risk of developing type 2 diabetes. Also, tobacco smoke decreases your insulin sensitivity, so if you smoke, quit smoking. If you don't smoke, don't start. Also, get enough sleep. Sleep is very important to your overall health. It affects your hormones. It affects your metabolism. And not getting enough sleep increases your risk of developing type 2 diabetes. Most adults need somewhere between 7 and 8 hours of sleep per night. Finally, limit your alcohol intake. Drinking too much alcohol can increase your risk of developing type 2 diabetes. So you need to drink in moderation. For men, that's 2 drinks per day. For women, that's 1 drink per day. Well, there you have it. Those are my tips for preventing type 2 diabetes. If you haven't already seen it, take a look at my video on what is diabetes and what is pre-diabetes. It's a very informative video. Also, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps my channel, and please subscribe. I put out new videos every week on a variety of topics. And you definitely want to see my weekly series called What's the Best Diet?, where I review the evidence on various popular diets. And you're not going to get this information anywhere else. Thanks for watching.